Y'all better get comfortable with saying black.
We in here. Yeah, we in here.
Black versus the Board of Education.
Cause we came here, rid of us now. We in here. Yeah, we in here. Cause we came here, rid of us now. And you know, and we know, and we go. Cause we been here.
That's why we are indeed a whole mood.
That's it.
Okay, sir. This is my time to shine.
Well, you know the microphone was still kind of on mute when you was trying to get it out. So why don't you try it? Hit me one more time. That's right. It's the air horns, and she does it so well. I think you're gonna keep her.
You know, thank you. I'll be here all week.
Well, happy Monday, everybody. We are Black versus the Board of Education. My name is Miss Laureen, and I am, of course, the captain of the ship. And I welcome you into this place. We are talking Black educators and Black institutions today, and we got a lot to talk about. My brother is back from taking a group of kids over on a HBCU tour. He gonna clap for himself. He's like, yeah, I did that.
I gotta do what I gotta do nowadays. I appreciate this nice shirt. You know what I mean? Okay.
I mean, we just all gonna twin it up. But before we get started with the actual discussion, because we have a lot to talk about, I'm going to start with introductions and let the folks introduce themselves, and we'll get into the discussion. We're going to start with Miss Quinessa today. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, I'm Quinessa. I'm a youth advocate, and I'm happy to be here today.
And Adrian's already yawning, and we have not fully started. He got to get his stretch on. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Hello, my name is Adrian. Looking forward to learning more about HBCUs.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we can't wait to put a little bug in your ear. Hey, Miss Keela.
Hey, it's your girl Keela. Just want to shout out my twin sisters. It's their 23rd birthday yesterday. So.
And Miss Kima's running the board in the back. So she's in the building. So welcome and happy birthday to you and Kiana. Sherman.
Sherm. Usually behind the camera, but I'm here today.
Stop saying that, because you've been here in front of the camera for at least 3 weeks now. So I have already told you this is where you're going to be. So, get used to it and get ready.
Got a nice little ring to it, though.
It does, right? And of course, we round ourselves out with the baby of the bunch. She's coming fresh off of prom with her nice prom do. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my love.
Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa, and I am a senior in high school in Southern California.
Oh, fantastic. And, she's heading our way very, very soon. And I'm super excited because she thought she could get away from her mama, but she don't know I got the mama bear spirit up here, too. So it's all good. And we have two incredible folks joining the discussion today. Mama, we're going to start with you.
Hi, my name is Tawana. I am Melissa's mom, and I am also in sunny Southern California.
Yes, sir.
Well, the sun came out after I left, apparently. No, because it was out yesterday, but it was not out on Saturday. And I'm like, wait, they tell me it never rained in Southern California, and I'm trying to figure out where these clouds came from. Anyway, and my brother is back for part 2 of our discussion. We said we would have you back after the HBCU tour, and I don't know why you had a shirt on. I mean, put the shirt down. Like,
I'm just want to, be a part of the crew.
I feel it.
I appreciate y'all having me back.
And so you came back from, which states did you tour?
Louisiana and Texas, aka Houston, H-Town.
Oh, so you went to Houston, and what part of Louisiana?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We went to Dillard's, Xavier.
Okay.
Then we just shout out to Baton Rouge, Southern. Then we checked out Louisiana State University because we was out there. Some of the kids wanted to check it out.
And because the Bayou Barbie goes there. But
they couldn't find her.
She's not there anymore.
Exactly. I don't think she was ever there. And then we went to a Perry View, and then we went to Texas Southern.
Okay. And how many days?
Also Grambling State. Because Grambling State's is like in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. What city is that in?
It would.
Why are you looking at him?
I was trying to give me
help you.
I will help you out.
It's in Louisiana.
It's in Louisiana, but we don't know where. It's not in Baton Rouge. It's in the middle of nowhere, really. But it's like it's got its own compound.
Okay.
For real,
Interesting.
And it was a beautiful, beautiful 8 days.
Okay.
8 days with some beautiful Black youth.
All right. How many did you take with you?
We took 60.
Ooh.
16?
16.
Okay, I thought for a minute I thought you said 60.
No. I think that with the larger groups, I think that we probably will have the capacity to pull it off, but the intimacy of having smaller groups, not having to be more about the numbers, more about the quality than the quantity. I think it works better for us. And you can get all those intimate moments when we're like skating or we're doing scooters downtown Houston at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, y'all should have been in bed. Wow.
Come on, girl.
So let me ask you something. Did the time change mess y'all up too? Because we were toe up in Louisiana. Or maybe it was just me.
Listen, when you have me, I was looking at them kids and I was seeing the pain in their eyes and I was okay with it. Because we would go to bed at some of them. I'd say, hey, remember, you pay. If you stay up, they're like, oh, well, we good. I'll wake them up at 6 in the morning if they go to bed at 4. Some kids didn't even get no sleep. And I mean, they all fell asleep while we drove. But at the end of the day, I think the time we just flew with it. So it didn't really bother us at all.
Okay. Well, good for y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all different.
That was brutal.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Like we blinked and it was time to
How
come
many did you guys go with?
7.
7 soldiers.
7. And we worked pretty much the whole time.
Oh, y'all worked.
Oh, we still had meetings here, so we were on virtually we still had advocacy stuff to do. So
I told people don't call me about nothing.
I
meant that for real, because I mean, at that time it's like, come on, y'all. What I mean, of course, I text a couple people back to do everything we had to do, but I mean, just to watch the joy, the sound mind, and the peace of some of our young people. One of my young people who actually went to the trip, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in our community. And because we took him to this trip, it prevented him from being somewhere where he could have had something happen to him. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, a young man has passed away because of that. But his mindset is totally shifted.
That's what's up.
So that's why it's so important when we talk about transformational travel, that we start getting our kids to elevate, to see different places, different things, different people, different environments, different vibes, different cultures. It's just we have to change the game and start getting our kids on airplanes, getting our kids in cars, getting our kids on trains, and really letting them see more than just what their normal neighborhoods. Forget about San Francisco. LA is great, but let's go outside of it.
Okay.
Because it's just important when you see these kids changing climate, changing area codes, changing time stamps, right? It's like, oh, and then when they start getting involved in the culture, like the food component, like that's like, yo, what? We had this barbecue called Triple J's. Girl,
it made an impression. Apparently,
nephews, nieces. Let me tell you, just that alone was probably like worth the trip.
Wow.
I mean, it was a 30-minute wait, but who cares?
I mean, the good food is always worth waiting for. I just want to ask before we get into the actual discussion that I wanted to have today, because my baby on here, she had her heart set on going to an HBCU. I'm assuming, Melissa, that you traveled out there and you got to see the culture and the climate, and you kind of fell in love with this particular campus. And so I just wanted to kind of hear from you, and I see that there may be some technical difficulties. Oh, there she is. I want to hear from you. What type of impression did this campus have on you that had you ready to risk it all to go out there and pursue your education?
Okay, so I'm gonna turn my camera off just in case to make sure that you guys can hear me. But I didn't, in the process of figuring out college and all of that, my entire high school journey, before stepping foot into high school in my freshman year, I wasn't really sure if I even wanted to go to college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I had bad experiences when I wasn't homeschooled. So I kind of thought, college isn't for me. I'll figure something else out. But I discovered HBCUs because I had a family friend that went to Howard. And so I started researching and found out about Howard, and Spelman was what really caught my eye because I write poetry. It's a liberal arts school. It's an HBCU. It's an all women's college. And I really valued the values that they had. And last year, my junior year, because I'm a senior now, I took a tour for their junior preview day at the Spelman campus. Me, my mom, my sister flew to Georgia to go tour the campus and spend the weekend there in Atlanta. And there was a real culture there that everyone talks about with the HBCUs. And I felt that, and it felt like home. It's a really small campus. I'm used to being homeschooled and having a tight-knit community. That's what drew me to Spelman specifically. And that has been my dream college for the past like 2 or 3 years.
Wow. And so, Adrian, I think, was it you that went out of California for the first time last year?
Yeah.
Okay. So talk to me about, and Melissa, we're going to come right back to that because I have some questions about your experience at Spelman. But I want to kind of go to y'all here in the room. So we traveled to Lafayette last year and we returned this year. As someone who had just went out of California for the first time last year, what type of impression did it leave on you, being able to leave here and go someplace else? And what did you take away from that experience?
I think the biggest thing I took away was just how different the people are there compared to California. I feel like where I grew up, I'm used to kind of like the same kind of people, and especially with the way they talk.
What does that mean, the same kind of people?
Meaning I feel like I know what to expect with like California people. I feel like I could tell when somebody's from California. And when I went out to Louisiana, it was like the accents were different, their mannerisms, the way they talk to you is different, like going out of their way to talk to you. It was just all different for me.
A lot of baby.
Yeah.
A lot of baby.
A lot of it.
Definitely
Like,
a lot of baby. And
mess
are you
around and figure
hungry?
out, yeah, baby. And all of that.
And are you hungry? Are you okay? You good? A lot
Genuine.
of welcome.
Mhm.
You went last year.
Yeah.
What was your experience like?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Adrian. It felt very like genuine, almost like we went to the grocery store. We went to the grocery store and he was like, "Oh, like you guys, we have gift bags for everybody that's coming in the store." What? Gift bags, okay. Then he was like, he checked in with us because obviously he knew we weren't from there. So he was just like, "Oh, like, are you guys good? Like, you know what this is?" And then like he made his way back outside to say like, "Bye. We hope you guys had a good time." Like at the grocery store. At the grocery store. I go to Winco. Oh my God. Everybody is so rude. You know what to expect. Everybody bumping into you. Don't even look at you. You look at somebody, they either look down or they just like mean mug you. And I feel like when you were at that grocery store, somebody random, "Hey, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm good. How are you?" Like, what? You're not used to that.
Yeah. And shout out to Philadelphia Christian Church. I know we didn't get a chance to, shout them out last week. But they have made an impression on us. And that's why I'm committed to, visiting every year. The amount of love that they have for community, the intentionality in which they kind of move. I just love everything about them. Miss Quinessa, you joined us this year. Now you're not from California, you're from Minnesota. Tell me some differences between where you're from and what you experienced when we went to Louisiana.
So I would say that everything in the central time zone is like nice. People are very nice. In Minnesota, it's there's a passive aggressiveness to it. There's a lot of like we all have kind of our own agendas. So it's like they're nice because they want something or they're, whatever it may be. Whereas in Lafayette, the niceness was almost just like everybody was family. There's like a familial feel to the way that people interact with each other.
Dope. And we're going to get Sherman in here because actually, before I go back to Melissa, Sherman, you actually attended an HBCU and you told me you had a lot to say about this topic and I'm going to believe you on that. What do you think about how was your experience or what you saw?
I think my experience was good. I always encourage, especially Black people, to go to HBCUs. It's just like Adrian said, it's just like a different experience. Like I left Sacramento and I didn't want to go to Sacramento or Chico or anywhere close to that just because I felt like it was too close to home and the things that I was going through as far as like like the things that was happening and people that I was losing. I didn't want to be a part of that. I was too close to it. So I made a decision to go to Delaware State. Me and my mom bumped heads on it because it was expensive. And she didn't trust the recruiters to like actually give me the scholarship that they promised to give me. And she was kind of like, that's their job, is to sell you.
Yeah.
And but for me, it was just like, I don't know.
So
like,
did you get a scholarship?
Yeah, I did end up getting scholarships, but it like the person who recruited me makes sure he got me scholarships. So if he wasn't there, then I would have just been another face. And I probably would have left, honestly, because when I first got there, they was like, oh, like you can't get housing because you have a what's it called when you owe too much money?
You can't get housing?
Housing. And I was like,
but you're from California.
That's what I was trying to explain. I was like, I can't, like, I'm not from New Jersey or New York where I could just drive back home. I'm like from California, and it was like, you have like outlandish payment you have due. And I was just
On
like,
what?
like
like
on my
tuition?
balance. Yeah. Because it was
Oh.
like, well, the person who was recruiting me said he's going to give me scholarships. I don't know how that's going to work out between y'all, but
He said it's above me
I don't
now.
know about you,
it's not my problem. He said he was going to give me scholarships. I don't know. But yeah, it was, I was just like, what am I supposed to do now? Cause like, but he ended up making it work. And I'm thankful for that experience.
Okay. And I'm gonna turn it back to Melissa because Melissa received some news last week. Was it last week, Melissa? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Last Monday.
Last Monday. And Melissa was waiting all this time for the FAFSA. Now tell us the problem with the FAFSA this year.
Okay, so this is Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Okay, so the problem with FAFSA this year was that they did a complete system overhaul.
Okay.
The federal government did, which was supposed, at the end of it, was supposed to make it easier for need-based families to be able to get the maximum amount of financial contributions. The problem was that they didn't do a test rollout. Rolled out a whole entire brand new system to hundreds of thousands of kids all at once. So for the first several weeks, it was literally next to impossible, unless you were waking up at like 1:30, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, to even be able to fill out an application. Once we were able to fill out the application, then we were told, oh, usually it's January where you guys will hear back. Now it'll be mid-February. Then in February, we were told we'll roll out the data by March. And then in March, you get the pattern. We were told out till, the information in mid-April. So there were all of these delays that were happening. And then in the meantime, we being Melissa, still applying for other scholarships and things of that nature, because we're, anticipating that there is going to be some financial contributions. We're not sure how much, but we want to be prepared. But this delay with the data being pushed out to the schools also then delayed the need-based scholarships that were coming from other organizations to these schools. So things were falling off left and right. And so because of the delay, we did not hear back from any of the schools until maybe 2 weeks ago it started rolling in.
Just 2 weeks.
Yeah, just maybe like at the very end of April did we start hearing back from the 13 colleges that she applied to.
And so really quick, Mama. So you started hearing from schools the last week of April, but decision day was the first day of May?
Yeah.
Yes.
I could touch on that too.
You can touch on it? Okay, please do.
Especially for HBCUs, FAFSA is like a big problem. Like if you're going there on that first week of school, that line in FAFSA is like wrapped around the campus.
Yards.
It's wrapped, and it's just like it happens every year. Where it's like they're not giving people their scholarships or they're late on it, and it's just like, I never
Is that
understood it.
FAFSA or is that is that one and the same, FAFSA and financial aid on the campus? Because I thought FAFSA was something you filled out and then the
FAFSA is
award
something-
goes to the school.
Yeah, FAFSA is something you fill out
Mhm.
usually, before you start your school, and then financial aid is where what I meant
The
to say.
award.
Yeah, where
Okay.
the line
And so
actually
the
be
line
wrapped,
for the financial aid, the financial aid office would be wrapped
and
around
that's
because the money was
across
an issue.
every HBCU.
That
Hmm.
has that is absolutely true. And I have heard that from just about everybody that I know that has attended in HBCU. So you couple that with the government delay,
Mhm.
it was a complete and utter nightmare. So we heard back from several different schools. She heard back from Tuskegee,
Mhm.
and they offered you
Up front, when I got accepted, I got a
Scholarship.
$10,000 merit scholarship that could be renewed each year. But with the FAFSA delay and everything with the financial aid package, they wouldn't give me my financial aid package until I submitted my commitment fee. So I had to commit to the school in order to know how much additional financial aid they were going to give.
Oh, it gets better.
Hold that, because Barry did something weird.
What I do?
You looked around, so you just took a group of kids to
Yeah.
tour HBCUs. Did y'all talk to the financial aid office at all?
We didn't talk to the financial aid office, but we
Mhm.
talked to enough kids to know the landscape of, I think, a lot of the frustration
Okay.
overall for kids coming out, especially kids, coming to California to HBCUs or just out of state, is the money. There's
Mhm.
not enough money in scholarships and aid that helps them get through the levels of money issues that you have when it comes to college. Most of the average HBCUs are 30,000 plus,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Annually. Some a little bit higher, like the higher ups like Howard and things of
And
that nature,
Spelman.
things
Mhm.
of that nature.
Mhm.
So when you look at these universities, these institutions that don't get the same type of level of funding as a PWIs,
Mhm.
that becomes the large, I don't think so, I'll go here compared to going there, because not only do you not get the money, but the facility, when you look
Yeah.
at them,
Yeah.
it's a big difference. Like when we looked at Prairie View, which was actually a facility that looked a lot better than Grambling compared to like Texas Southern. You could see the differences between each type of a campus. When then you go to Louisiana State University, it's like up to par.
Mhm.
It's you got the fraternity houses here, you got this there. It feels like a college level facility, where the Prairie View felt like a higher level JC,
Mm.
right? And just looking at that imbalance, it allows people to say, I don't know if I really want to go there. And then when you listen to the colleges telling you about the graduation rate, it's like 30 some percent. And then it's also like, well, 6 years we can get you out. You know what I mean? There's all these different comparisons that you're like, I don't know. The culture part of it
Mhm.
is the draw, right?
The culture is the draw, but I'm looking at the money part. So they come out here and they do all these
You'll go broke.
college fairs,
Yeah.
for our babies and get their hopes up. But then I hear stories where it's like they don't have the funding
Nothing at
to
all.
actually attend.
Nothing.
And most of our kids are needs based.
Yes.
Right. And, I was just we were talking about the report that said, Black American wealth is going to be zero by 2053. Where are they supposed to get this doggone money from?
And that's the problem. When you look at some of the higher level colleges, Spelman, Hampton, Howard, Atlanta Clark,
Mhm.
North Carolina, AT&T, or what is
A&T.
A&T. I always say AT&T.
Agriculture
yeah,
and
right.
technical.
You think that those colleges will be the ones that are going to get the higher level of funding. But if you have a system that don't give a damn about Black folk,
How about that?
why would they put this amount of money to Black institutions? And the caveat out of it all, I believe, is when you don't have, which a lot of major revenues coming from sports.
Yep.
Yeah.
When that sports component is not generating the dollars, like I looked at one of the HBCUs, like, I mean, I think their annual generated like 18 million.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Ohio State is like generating 250 million dollars. It's like, oh, there's no comparisons. So you don't have enough people putting in, and those who are putting in, we don't know if they're really putting in and where they're putting it into.
Well,
there's no checks and balances.
You almost made me say something.
Say something.
Nope. Mama, so you were talking about the delay. And so I want you to pick up where you left off.
Yeah, so we did hear back from Tuskegee, like she said, but then we got pigeonholed by not paying the $400 to actually commit her to there. So we don't know what they would have offering her financially.
Wait, it costs $400 to commit?
Non-refundable.
Yeah.
Non-refundable $400.
What?
Just to see how much aid she might get.
So a yes doesn't suffice.
So of course,
on top of the application fee.
Good Lord. Okay. So the non-refundable $400 to even commit.
even
Go
to
ahead,
even
Mama.
commit. So of course that wasn't going to happen. So we were waiting, and then we were excited because the email came through from Spelman, and to our complete and utter shock, they offered my daughter $525 need-based. That was their need-based contribution, $525 per semester.
Mama, how much is it a semester? Mama, how much is it a semester?
$54,000 a year.
And how much is a flight there?
Oh, we paid.
So about $27,000 a semester, and they gave her $500.
Yes.
Are you saying $500 the whole semester?
Yeah, the whole semester.
Yes, sir. Because I said, no, we need to pick up the phone and we need to call because I need some commas and some zeros.
You guys got some money over there or something? What's going on?
They hiding it in the mattress.
I mean, you guys the Cosbys that we need to know about what's going on.
Look, I wish, but so I called because it also looked like my SAI was incorrect, which is the what used to be called the estimated family contribution. So your student whatever ID number that the FAFSA gives you, and that is what schools use to determine how much you need, like how much money that the schools individually will give you. I have the lowest SAI number because I have a single parent household. My mom is raising 3 kids. I have a negative 1,500 need-based like ID number. So that is the lowest SAI number that there is. I called them because on my end, it said that my SAI was 0, which is incorrect. I have all of the receipts, the screenshots, everything. I called them. They were like, no, it's correct on our end. And I'm like, okay, so if it is correct and my SAI is the lowest that there is, still the only need-based I'm getting is the $525 a semester. And they said, yes, there is no appeal process, so you cannot ask us for more money. You need to commit, and then you can try again in September.
That's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about the Southern hospitality, the homey field of these colleges.
But that don't mean that they're the ones running the schools.
Yeah, but I know, but I still feel like, it doesn't come across that when I hear all these horror stories.
I feel you.
Because I've dealt with 2 of my kids who are coming back from the Hamptons. And the things that they had to deal with, and it's almost like a matter of fact. Like, it's like, well, I thought we were all supposed to be kinfolk. Nah. We get treated better at a PWI.
Yes. Speaking of,
that's why I say it's familial. It feels like family because family does you dirty sometimes.
Cornessa.
That's why I say it's a familial nice.
I was like, oh, there you go. Well, you're right.
Wow.
AC Boo's right. She right.
So Melissa, this is the school you've had your eye on for some time. Can you talk about the disappointment a little bit, just so we can put it into context for people who may just be joining this conversation. Hello to you out there. We are talking Black educators / Black institutions. Melissa is telling us about her experience waiting on the FAFSA because of the delay of their rollout of a new system. And she's telling us about the 2 HBCUs that were trying to force a commitment before they would even relook at whatever it was that they were offering. And currently, Spelman, who has a annual tuition of $54,000 a year, offered her $525 a semester. A child, wait, and Mama, I need to put this into context. Melissa, what is your GPA?
My GPA is 4.27.
Period.
A 4.27 student.
Girl, if you don't hurry up and get to UCLA, stop playing. USC.
UCLA was the only school that rejected me too.
Excuse me, go to USC.
No, we not. No. So
she can't go to Spelman and get $500, sis.
No. There's a silver lining. Baby.
Oh, really?
We got a
Please,
silver lining coming. No.
Because that HBCU in Southern California ain't coming anytime soon. I'm just saying.
No. I'm just saying, like, those type of numbers you normally don't see reserved for a student with a 4.27 GPA.
Yeah.
You know, a needs-based 4.27 GPA. Did you already take your SAT?
I opted out of taking the SATs.
Okay.
Because all of the schools that I applied to, I made sure that they were test optional. And the one thing that I liked about Spelman specifically was that they said when I went there and talked to them about, do you recommend me take the SAT or the ACT? They said that they are a holistic grading, or not grading process, but they're a holistic application process, which means they look more at your civic engagement and the things that you've done over the past 4 years, which I volunteer, I'm taking dual enrollment courses, I'm finishing up my associate's degree. Like, I have done so much over the past 4 years where I felt like that should be enough and I wouldn't have to compensate with the SATs. So I opted out of taking them because that would be a lot of extra time studying for those tests when I could be doing other things and my associate's degree, which I felt like weighed a little bit those tests.
And I just want to commend you for that, because I don't think that, you know, they were looking at the right application. This is foolishness.
Were they looking at the application at all? I'm
know.
just being, you know.
What are you guys' thoughts? Like,
my thought, I think that schools like to see that you did extra. So even though they say test optional, I think sometimes when they say that, they don't look at the score, but they still want to see that you did it, because they like to see that you went the extra mile.
Oh, so you're saying that even though they said the SAT was optional, you think that they put some weight on that?
Anyway. I do. Like with a lot of schools, for when I was applying for graduate school, they would say like they don't really take into consideration GRE scores, because they're just moving away from that because testing is so racist and all of these things. And there's still weight. They still hold weight to the numbers that these tests add. So,
Adrian, what you're listening to all this, what are you thinking, you know, in terms of, you know, you have a high achieving student, someone who's almost already earned her associate's degree of 4.27 GPA, and they only offered her $525 per semester.
No, it's crazy, because it's like, how are you supposed to be encouraged by that to want to go to college when that's all you're taught, and then you do everything right and they offer you $525 a semester?
Keela?
I think it's because like I'm thinking of it like personally, because I have a relationship with her, and like you first meet Melissa, I literally told her the first day I met her, I was like, bro, like you're an amazing person, like you do so much stuff, and for you to get like that is just like, why did you even send it to me? Like, why?
Just gonna keep that.
Like, why would you even like? I would have just preferred zero.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's just, why would you even think that like that was okay to even tell me?
Almost a slap in the face.
No, it is a slap in the face times two. Like,
Kima agrees with you.
So yeah, I just think for me, like I just know that was her dream school, Like that hurts me. Like I even got emotional. Like just you saying her mom talking about it. Like it's really sad. And it's almost like it's a freaking scam.
Yeah. Melissa, did you apply for outside scholarships?
I have been applying for outside scholarships, and there is a specific scholarship that Miss Lori I wanted to tell you about. I think I told you about last week. A scholarship program for if in high school you have been doing like volunteering and civic engagement, and you want to continue that specifically at Spelman while you are there, you can apply for the Bonner Scholar program. And I applied for that. That's after you've been accepted. And I was accepted also early decision because this was my dream school. I applied early decision because this was the school I planned to commit to. So I applied for the Bonner Scholarship program. And because it is a need-based scholarship program, I got an email over my spring break that because of the FAFSA delay, because they need your SAI number, which is given to them, the schools by FAFSA, that because they didn't have our SAI numbers, they were completely rescinding all of our applications and taking away the entire scholarship program for this school year. So I wouldn't even have the chance to apply for that scholarship. Well, I applied for it and I didn't even have the chance for my application to be considered. So they told me, again, you have to commit to Spelman, and then next year, if the FAFSA is correct, we'll bring it back, and then you can have the chance to apply again.
And that covered her whole entire, that was a full ride scholarship that just went away. It vanished because
of the FAFSA delay.
Of the FAFSA delay.
It's disheartening hearing this, because again, we want to motivate our young people to have a cultural experience like no other, and HBCU is where you're going to get it. But then at times you shouldn't have to go through all these loops and these obstacles and these situations where it really questions your decision making. Like, am I doing the right thing necessary, or when I can really go into like freaking Princeton with that grade point average? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I just don't want anybody to misconstrue what we're talking about here today. This is not a bash HBCU
I don't know.
episode.
I thought that was the party we was at. No,
no, this is not
What's
a
going up?
bash
Yes, you are, sis.
HBCU. What it is it's about putting the correct information out, because there are a lot of our young people who attended all of these college fairs.
Yes.
And they were offered different scholarships from different people. Now, to be fair, Spelman really never gives out scholarships at these HBCU fairs that I've seen.
Yeah.
I don't see many of those prestigious HBCUs really giving out the scholarships like these other smaller HBCUs do at these college fairs. But I just, because I know this young person and I see the amount of effort she's put in, and even went as far as to going and checking out the campus and meeting with different people that are there. And
she did her own college tour.
Right. And to basically have a slap in the face when you've put in all of this work as a high school student, and they tell you, get straight A's, or, if you're a high achieving student, you will have your pick of any college that you want to go to. And then you rescind the need-based scholarships. Like, are they pricing us out? Or do they think because we here in California, we got all the monies? Like, what we doing?
We got all the money in California.
That's what they say.
I think it has some part to play in that. As far as us being from California, I think they got a stereotype about us. Because even out there, when I say I'm from Cali, they be like, "Oh, you from LA?"
No. But she's from LA, and still there are people in LA who have need, right?
And I think even like HBCUs, I know for a fact that like they take care of their people like in state, but when it comes to like out of state, I don't know if it's like a funding thing or what, but it's like they're going to take care of the people in state for sure. They're going to almost full ride scholarships if you're in state, but out of state, you lucky to get.
I mean, but why it costs so much because you out of state? I don't understand. Like, if I'm flying you to the state,
that's all higher education institutions out of state is like astronomically different. I had to change I had to become a California like citizen and change
Resident,
my ID.
resident, baby.
There we go.
Resident.
Resident.
I like citizen.
And to change my ID and everything to get in-state tuition when I moved here, or they were going to take my grant away.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, they were like, "Yo, it's a 2-year grant," and so I was like, "Oh, cool." And I went, and then they were like, "Oh, but we have to charge you more because your license still says Minnesota." I said, "I will go change my license tomorrow.
That's just so
I'm not
stupid.
paying."
We talked about that with the girl, with the waiter in Louisiana, right?
Mhm,
With her
mhm.
daughter.
Yeah, we did. And, I if we are trying to make it so that we have a intelligent workforce, but we not a
Intelligent would be going to the HBCUs from what it sounds like.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, if we're telling our young people, graduate high school, go to college, graduate college, you'll have all these things at your fingertips, but we're pricing them out of college. What is it that they're supposed to do if we want that experience? Because we over here on the West Coast, right? If we want that HBCU feel, and I know that they're trying to put a satellite campus down in Southern California for some HBCU. I can't remember the name of it. And I know that we have Black Honors College starting up at Sac State, but even those programs are going to have some
It
criteria.
ain't no HBCU.
Right. And if our HBCUs, the places that were supposed to represent meccas of sorts
Yes.
for our students,
Yeah.
if they're pricing them out, what are they left with?
I think
PWIs?
Yes, PWIs.
I went to a PWI. I'm not gonna lie, but
I think that it's almost like you have to make a choice.
Yeah.
You either do or you don't, and most people figure out they're going to do, right? But then a lot of times, I think a lot of kids, they go in there, and when you talk about the low graduation rate,
yeah,
right? It's almost like you get to play around for 2 years. They throw you out, then you're going to find yourself in a PWI anyway, right?
Mhm.
Just to get a little bit of that time to
Yeah.
say, I went to an HBCU. You can become homesick. You don't really fit into the culture because some of these HBCUs is in the hood, straight up, or in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? You don't have that many of them that are just smack dab in a thriving community. I mean, Howard is dope because it's kind of like in the middle of the city.
Different.
A little bit different, right? But the reality of them all, and of course, or Spelman, you have all the other colleges right next to them, so that's dope, but it's still in the hood. I just think that college is a business,
Yeah.
and if we don't go walk into it with a business mentality, that's how you get played.
Yeah.
And I think that our kids got to stop thinking about the dream and then start focusing on the reality that this is business first. Education is probably last.
Absolutely. I think that's why they poach students the way that they do.
Oh, go and speak.
What happened with you?
Okay.
That happened with
She
me.
done got married and she ready. Go ahead, go.
And UC Davis, UC Davis was like, "Hey, we want to offer you this money," and I was like, "Okay," but I had gotten accepted into an Ivy League, so I was like, "Wait, I want to go there," and then they're like, "No, we actually want to give you more money."
Wait, what Ivy League did you get into?
I seen it happen.
Cornell.
Cornell. Okay.
We'll
That's
talk
where,
about.
is Amara at Cornell?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
And they offered me more money because they were like, "No, we really want you to come." And I got to Davis. I couldn't afford groceries at one point. I had my professors buying me food. I couldn't afford my rent. They just left me.
Even though they gave you more money.
Yes, they had poached me to come out here to then just abandon me as a student. They just knew that I had a resume of things that they wanted to be able to put forward because they're a business.
Yes. Yes.
So you should have did some negotiation. You should have
said, "Well, my groceries I need." You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I was going
And that car, man.
What's
I was
that
gonna
term?
tell Melissa that even though it's messed up, it's you gotta really go out there and pretty much advocate for yourself. And it's because they have the money and they will give it to you. But it's almost like you got to go face to face and talk to them, and then they'll give you the money.
Yeah, we're not spending over $500 on no plane ticket to go talk to people.
Why do I have to do all that?
You shouldn't.
I just feel like in her situation, she really got played though.
Yeah,
they was stalling, and then on top of that, it was okay,
and there's no allowances for the FAFSA.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I was like. I think everything you guys are saying is but she really got played. I feel like.
And you mad?
I'm pissed. Like that's what I'm
Keela's
saying.
ready to
Like,
fight Melissa.
that's not no, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like I'm trying to advocate for her in a personal level because I have a personal relationship with her, and I just know everything she's been doing, putting 4.2 to get notified 4 days before to figure out what.
It sounds like poor planning and then just like bad resources, like bad resource management. And at that point, I just feel like Melissa is better than that.
Exactly.
And she deserves an institution that has more resources to be able so that she can do all the things we know she can do.
And you know what? That is a very perfect segue because Melissa, who did you end up committing to and what did they end up giving you, baby?
I would have been able to give her full.
Melissa's on mute. I don't know if she knows she's on mute. Melissa. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, before she jumps on, I
Yeah.
think that when you guys are talking about folks being played and you're talking about, all the different things about these HBCUs, how do you expect these HBCUs to pour into the kids with monies when you look at the institution that you're on, they're not pouring into the facilities, right? I guarantee you the people that got the money are the people on the top.
Yep.
Those people on the bottom are going to get their just due. Everything else is going to remain to be what it is, right? It's almost kind of like that bad owner who never comes and fix the pipes in the rental.
Yeah.
Right? Well, why am I going to do that? I'm living in a mansion. That's on you. I'll come get it.
You figure it out.
You figure it out. And this is what it is. It's commonly you figure it out. And this is also speaking to the volumes of all kinfolk ain't.
All skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Oh, that's the same.
You almost had it.
Almost had it.
Got you.
We knew the vibe.
Thank you. See, but it's just the truth. It scares me because the essence of HBCUs is such a practical thing.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful thing. But when you break it all down, if a child is not going in there with a mentality of business, and like equating what they bring to the table more than what they're telling them, right? Like how you was negotiating, that was beautiful. That's the mentality our young people have to come with. Like, yeah, I want to go to Spelman, but if y'all not going to meet me halfway, then Spelman, I guess I have to see you during my master's.
I mean, they have to meet her more than halfway because they are the adults in the situation. We're talking about a student who is interested in your institution, right? And they made the grades. You tell them that they're supposed to have the grades.
But I think they get away with the mystique, right, of Spelman.
Yeah.
If it ain't gonna be you, we'll get somebody else.
Well, true that.
I mean, I really do believe that.
I have to because we do have a student graduating from Spelman. Raven in 3 years has earned her bachelor's degree from Spelman, and she will be graduating May 17th.
Period.
So she did that. And I'm not saying, but everybody's financial makeup is a little different, right? Some people have access to different tools, but if we don't have the tools in place, how do we make it so that those who really want to be somewhere actually can go without going into debt? My understanding is they offered her $525 per semester and told her the rest she's going to have to take out loans for.
Yes.
Like
these,
what?
with the financial literacy, the lack thereof that we have, the last thing a HBCU should be wanting to get kids, Black students, lower income Black student, a majority of going there, is to get them in debt.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? That's crazy. Like you playing the man's game.
That's right. That's right. That's all I want to say. Melissa, are you back, love?
I am. The HBCUs want to be a hater, and now the internet does not.
Oh, Lord.
I'm here.
Okay, so I was saying, although you did not get into your dream school, there was an institution that you committed to, and I want to know what financial aid package they offered you.
Okay, so a couple days after the whole Bonner scholarship program thing, I was really sad, but I got a phone call from UC Berkeley, and their Black Recruitment and Retention Center wanted to fly me out. And so I told you guys about that. So I got to experience the very small but mighty Black community on the UC Berkeley campus. And about a week and a half after I came back from that trip, I got a full ride scholarship to Berkeley. So I will
I
be.
got a Team Void member is attending Berkeley right now, freshman year, and he's doing an excellent job. So congratulations, young lady.
Thank you.
And did you get to see Trinity or Michaela or Sydney?
Yes,
Or
I saw Sydney and Michaela. I did not see Trinity, but I also have some other friends that I know that I used to go to school with that are at Berkeley too. So I won't be alone. I'm very closer to you guys. So I will.
You're absolutely right, and I'm a whole hater, and I'm gonna show up. Make sure you keeping focused, young lady.
Absolutely.
And I love the Berkeley campus.
It's beautiful.
I mean, it if you want to have like a real college feel, I think Berkeley is definitely one of those college campuses that you really feel like you're on a college campus. They got all the foodery spots, what I love. They got all the housing right there. It's a
the
growing city.
games.
I don't know about the games.
The games are fun. I'm sorry,
They're fun, but they're trash. But hey, it's just
I didn't say they were good. I said the games were fun.
They are fun.
And now they're not even in the Pac-12. But that's another story. But I really feel like that Berkeley experience. I think you're gonna have a great time in that.
Thank you. I'm very excited.
No, we like the BRRC. They're pretty cool, and I know that they have a freshman dorm, a black freshman dorm.
Kind of ratchet, but yeah.
Stop it.
I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just saying.
I think it's a floor or something. I can't remember how many floors it is.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
one. Yeah, it's called Afro Hall. And when I submitted my house,
it's not racist.
No. Why
What
would
are
that
y'all
be
talking
racist?
about? Why would you call that racist?
Why would that be racist?
Who named it that?
I don't know.
What would be for me is when people would make it racist. Did the white people name it that?
I mean, it's not chicken and waffles and watermelon hall. I mean, it's not Kool-Aid hall. I mean,
and it could be Kool-Aid Hall. Like
That's crazy.
Kool-Aid Hall would be crazy.
So you'll be staying in the freshman dorm, I'm assuming.
So that is a separate application process. I had to just write a blurb about why I wanted to stay there. Like why I wanted to stay there. And what I touched on was how when I went to senior weekend, that was a big part for me because I got to stay on in Afro Hall with a current student. And I got to just experience that whole community. So I'm waiting for all the housing and stuff to be processed. That's also a long process in itself. But yes, fingers crossed I will be able to stay there.
Well, I mean, do we need to send a letter? Like, can we help?
We doing something.
I think a letter might help. Letters can't hurt. They can only help. So never.
Okay.
Just tell them that we're gonna protest in front of their building. No, I
we're
think
not playing.
Yeah, HBCUs do such a bad. They're horrible at negotiations, right? They don't allow the brightest students, the most capable students, to get into their facilities, to institutions that could help bring it back home, so to speak. And I hate when you hear these stories where another good one goes astray because a good one is thinking like that is a bad deal. That's like getting a high interest rate on a 2010 car.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I hate that we have to hear this, right? Because she should have been able to go to Spelman and they should have been able to make it right. But we are such penny pinchers of the dollars. And when you see our institutions, it's a reflective of our community. And when people ask and wonder why, from the top onto the bottom, everybody reflects themselves like crabs in a bucket.
Well, you already know I don't like that analogy because crabs don't belong in buckets. However, I do want to put it back to Mama because Mama, your baby didn't get into her dream school, but she got a full ride scholarship. How are you feeling about the way things turned out?
So from the beginning of this process, because nobody sees her work as hard as I do, and I'm talking for 3 years straight, Melissa didn't sleep because she's so focused and so dedicated on making sure that she crossed every T and she dotted every single I so that she could get into this university. Not only that, but she went ahead and applied early decision. And for people who don't know what that means I am applying to your school first, exclusively saying that if you let me in here, I am rescinding every other application that I have put in, and I am exclusively yours. That's what that means. And so for them to accept that and say, hey, yeah, we want you here. And then on the back end to not actually court her the way that I feel like she should have been courted.
Yeah, I like that.
It was very disheartening for me. Because in the junior preview day was, it was like, come on, y'all. Like, it was great. It was beautiful. But I felt like that when I left there, I was like, I could see her there, but something doesn't feel right. The communication was a little bit weird to me. There was a little more arrogance than I'm used to dealing with. And that just didn't sit well with me because I'm like, she can't come home like that. But then she ended up winning she ended up winning something at the preview weekend. We still haven't gotten that, and the communication was horrible. I don't think she heard from until like a few months ago about winning it. She won it, but they didn't even like get our address until like 3 months ago, and we still haven't gotten whatever the heck it is. We know it's not no
What she win?
Won't tell me. I'm Miss Lorene.
They won't tell you.
No, look, Miss Lorene. Last year,
at this point, they should give her a Snicker bar.
Yeah. A bookmark.
Maybe that $525.
Yeah. Well, here's your $525 back.
Sorry.
They're too cheap. They ain't gonna do that. Probably a Snicker bar and a bookmark.
Oh God, yeah.
So finally, to have her get what I know she deserved. Like, everybody's like, oh, well, did you cry? I'm like, no, this is what I've been waiting for because this is what she deserves. Period. My thing was, you can go to college anywhere. I don't care, but you're not leaving college with debt. And
Say that again, Mama.
Yeah, you can go to college anywhere, but you're not leaving college with debt.
HBCU should all be teaching no debt to go to college. And that's what we should be striving for, knowing the economic struggles that we have. And I don't see and hear it just feels like a money grab, a scam. Like I don't know.
And I'm gonna tell you how it's a money grab, because they offered her the chump change, but then it's like, hey, you can take out $50,000 in loans. What? Are you serious right now? That makes
an 18-year-old. Are you 18 yet?
You're
17, ain't you?
I just gonna just make it cool for you.
Yeah, August.
Sorry, on that note.
Also, really quick, because it's not a bashing session, but I have to say this about Howard. Howard decided that they were going to not push their acceptance date back. To some colleges did. They pushed it back to May 15th because, of course, nobody had their money. Nobody knew what was happening. So they sent out an email saying, hey, you'll know by May 1st what you're getting from us financially. So I called. I'm like, hey, I see this email May 1st, but your deadline for commitment is May 1st. So how are we supposed to make a commitment and, get the money on the same day? That gives her no time to look and weigh options. The man told me, well, that's actually a virtually impossible decision to make. What?
He basically said, we don't want you here.
Yes, basically. Wow. And I'm like, so you guys have no plans on moving it back to the 15th? Nope, we have none of that in place. Wow. Oh, okay. And I mean, just like so nonchalant. When I called Spelman, I was shaking. I was so upset. I kept it together, but it was like, well, so matter of fact, like, yep, that's all she's getting. So, there's no appeal process. So it is what it is. Just come on and we'll, check you out in September. No. So here comes Berkeley treating her the way that she should be treated. And I've always told her, you are excellent. Everything you do with the spirit of excellence. And that is what you deserve to get back. We're not getting ready to settle just because that's your dream school. Nobody cares about that at the end of the day. We want what God has for you and what he has prepared for you and nothing less. So for me, that's what she deserves. And I am very happy and proud that she was able to get what she deserves. I hate that it wasn't at an HBCU because I was prepared to, celebrate that with her. But there are no mistakes. And God knew what we didn't. And so now here we are.
Preach.
I don't, you know.
That's your black people. What I say your black people are?
Don't you bet. You bet not. You bet not. Don't do it.
Nephew, what I say black
Don't
black
tell
folk
them.
are?
Don't.
Nope.
Nope.
Trash.
Adrian.
Adrian, why?
Man. But y'all, for real, family, let's
Same.
come on. Like, this is like the tale of the tape that you hear all the time. You know, this is how, like, you know, for instance, we have all these black record labels, right? And they do the same exact thing as the white record labels.
You right.
And mostly the white records probably treat black people a lot better. You got the black police officer. He want to show that I'm going to show you, little Negroes. And you get more respect from the white police officer. It's just like in any position, black people are in a position of power, of change. It just seems like they forget their black card. And they try they forget their black card. And they interact as if they're part of the dominant society, and they're not a part of the dominant society.
I'm stealing that one.
Please, niece, take it. Take some notes. I'm just being, because listen to this tragedy that we're hearing.
Right. I'm with you.
You know, like, how is it that we're bringing these kids this experience to see the show, and it's all of this, oh my God, this mystique, oh my God, HBCUs. And I've heard more and more horror stories just like this. And some kids persevere.
Not all bad.
Not all bad.
Gotta reiterate that.
No, we know that. We know that. But what we're saying is that it shouldn't even be this.
It shouldn't even be this.
I agree with that.
It should be a lot easier of a process. They know what we've had to deal with, and it should be open arms. How much money do you need? How much money do you need? How much money do you need? And 4.2, we got a special place for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we still have to talk. Well, we don't got time today, but a while ago when we did a show on HBCUs and we had some young people on, they were talking about they didn't even have any black teachers at their HBCUs.
Oh, I remember.
They were in classes. Y'all remember? You remember that show?
I remember that. I do.
And I'm like, wait a minute.
Was that the same show you was talking about? The facilities had roaches, or which one?
What is?
I'm just saying.
I did not.
Okay.
Because I ain't never been. So I can't say. I know that there was a student who had mold in her room.
Listen.
And they were telling her it wasn't mold, but she was sick the whole semester.
Okay.
And they ended up opening up the
new paint that they put out there.
Come on now.
With black spots.
Yeah, that part.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, there has been a lot of horror stories, but there's also been some good stories that have come out of HBCUs. If we can keep our kids out of debt, many more will experience that.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But you know, then we get into the conversation about why Deion Sanders left Jackson State for Colorado.
Like, show me the money.
The facility, right? He was talking about he was funding the upgrades out of his own pocket.
And he said, show me the books.
A salary.
And he said, show, open up the books. Let me see the books. They didn't want to open the books.
So, I mean, we have to expect more from our HBCUs if we're going to entrust them with our kids,
100%.
just like, you know, these schools out here, because Elk Grove is still number one in the state for disproportionate discipline of black children. I will see them at the school board meeting tomorrow. Because I have a bone to pick, and we're not going to let them live this down, because our children deserve more.
100%.
We deserve more. I don't care if you have somebody black over the equity department when he is part of the problem. And I'm still waiting for him to call me instead of calling around asking about me. Call me directly. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Before we get out of here, we have to talk to you and remind you about Celebration Weekend coming June 21st through the 23rd. You bring in your young people, right?
You know, I even pushed out our retreat because I said, oh, nope, we got to go push it back because that's our.
You got some young people graduating?
Yeah.
I need them registered so we can make plans.
Yes, let's get
We need to make plans to have them in the building. I know Melissa will be here. I mean, we get to celebrate her on a grander scale and tell everybody about her full ride to Cal Berkeley. But we also want you there. So the 21st through the 23rd, the events are simultaneously happening, and not simultaneously, but one event a day for 3 consecutive days. It's totally free to the community. So we want to be in community with you and your young people. So if you have,
wait. The 21st is the dress up day.
When did it become Brutes and Brims? What is that?
Who is guy? What's going on?
That's the old one.
Oh, Tevin. It is not Route 916. It is not boots and brims. I don't know what happened there.
That was I didn't
But
know
that's
that was-
okay. But that's right. So yes, that is the party they went to last year. We
Okay.
expect you in your Western wear, sir. So you,
Because that's really what it is.
that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Get your beans.
We're on the farm.
Get your kicks on Route 916.
Yeah.
Really,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
like boots,
Like
Mhm.
boots
like the little cow
they
gonna
say
be over
in
there. We gonna
Texas.
jump on the cow and
and the horses.
Horses,
Yeah.
like really
Yeah.
Get your little
horse crap around there too.
Hey, that's not my
Excuse
business.
me, sir. We don't say that word on here.
They animals, ain't they? They do their thing, don't
They
they?
do their Dougie. Like
Okay,
everybody
so
else.
like really like
It's Western
boots,
wear.
Western wear.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have the dance
Gotta
floor.
go.
We'll be doing the
Uh-huh.
good old line dances.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta go watch a good episode of Dallas to go. You know what I'm saying? Get my kids right.
Good night, sir.
And you know about Dallas?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
We like
Okay.
JR and them.
Right. I like that. Why'd y'all pick that theme?
Honestly, last year you was talking about it
Yes.
Okay.
I knew we
'Cause
were
we
going to
had-
do one last year.
because we had
um,
kicks and heels last year.
Yeah.
and we were going to do a country theme this year. And
Yeah.
so Keela came up with the name because we couldn't think of one. And so, we're just going to have a good old time.
So you got your cowgirl boots?
I do. They all
After you got your cowboy hat?
$340 of them.
So let me ask you a question. I was just in Texas, in Houston.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have text, hey, bro, get your.
I told you before you left.
I know, but I didn't know what boots it is. I could have got my cowboy hat, the whole
Well,
bit.
listen, you better go on Temu like I've been telling
Don't
everybody.
you go on Temu.
You better go on Temu, get that $20
Don't
cowboy
you do it. You
boots.
can't fit that. No,
Really?
Yes, you can.
they not for us.
TikTok.
Okay, well, go on Amazon.
Don't go on
I think I'm
Amazon.
gonna go. I think I'm gonna go on Franklin Boulevard. You know, the Latinos they be having a lot of that stuff.
All right. Another.
You know
No.
what?
Good night.
I'm
Not
just-
He not lying.
I'm dead ass. the big belt buckles and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just don't go to Boot Barn unless you want to spend a bag. For real.
This is crazy. We really doing this, huh?
We
We're
are.
doing our Dougie on the Route 916.
Oh.
Get down on it.
And country music originated with our people anyway.
Well, we know,
so
but
it's
you're
our
not gonna
stuff.
play all country music though.
We're not gonna play any country.
Okay.
Wait.
Well, we may
wait.
do a couple songs. I know
Right.
they. What, Vanessa?
I done got a playlist.
You got
ready.
a playlist?
Yeah.
What of Beyonce's country album?
This
You know,
ain't it.
Tanner Adele. Like I've been
Ah,
listening.
oh.
I've been expanding my horizons.
What about Alabama? You know about Alabama? The group, not the song, Sweet Home Alabama. The group, Alabama.
Home,
Wait,
Alabama.
Why did everybody turn around and look at you like?
I don't know. I mean, just they cultured.
I've been
Everyone
trying
like,
to tell him good
y'all
night.
don't know
He
about
not-
Alabama? The group Alabama.
I like Charlie.
Nephew, you don't know about Kenny Rogers?
I know
Sir.
Kenny
Who's that?
Rogers.
Sir,
Kenny, you don't know who Kenny Rogers
I need
Who is
you.
Kenny
I
Rogers?
need you to stop while you can.
is? Dolly Parton.
I mean,
Oh yeah,
obviously.
Jolie.
She's country.
Jolie.
Jolie.
Gonna get copyright.
You know Dolly Parton wrote one of the greatest songs ever
What's
that Whitney
that?
Dolly
Houston
Parton
wrote.
and who?
I will always love you.
I will always love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's from a country
hmm
music singer.
And you the one bashing it, not us.
Who did?
I like
You.
Reba McEntire.
Oh, yes, Reba. Didn't she
You
pass
know.
away?
Survivor.
Isn't she on American Idol? Is that her?
I need Quinessa to make her own playlist.
Wait,
singing.
Oh no,
Stay
not American Idol.
focused.
The Voice.
We gotta get out of here. We 7
Voice.
minutes over.
The voice. She's on the voice.
We gotta focus.
All right.
We will catch y'all next week. We have the ladies, the dynamic ladies of Says dropping through next week. We will continue our nonprofit series spotlighting incredible nonprofits around the area. We thank you for joining us. We are going to get out of here. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Hello.
Oh, Keela said do the way.